right now, which is, hey, welcome to another episode of Vinyl Authority with Paul and AJ. How are you doing, AJ?
Excellent, man. Good to see you again.
It's great to see you. It's always great to talk about records in our little format here, and tonight will be no different.
I look forward to it.
I know.
I'm really looking forward to it every week. It's we used to play softball together. It's kind of the new softball night.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. It's probably better that we're putting on records because my arm isn't what it used to.
Yeah, me too. It's good to get out of the hospital.
So, AJ, you are a curator of musical loveliness for the radio station KAJW. You want to tell us a little bit about your internet radio station?
Streaming 24/7 on Live 365 is the app, and you can get that app at any of the Google, Apple Play Store, app stores. And just do a search for Radio KAJW, and you'll get hooked up to our station. And
great.
We'd love to have you. There's no genres on Radio KAJW. I've got a record collection and CD collection, close to, if you combine them, I'm going to say around 15,000 records, if you combine them. I have more CDs than I do vinyl. But it's all over the place, and modern music as well, new music as well. So it's a lot of fun. I've always wanted to do it, and ever since I was a kid, people were saying, you should be in radio with that voice. So now I am.
Well, when you shared with me your radio station, gosh, it's probably 3 years ago by now, maybe more.
We've been broadcasting for 3 years.
I remember exactly what I texted you as I was listening to it on the way home, which was, man, this is a love letter to beautiful music. And I still feel that way today. Yeah, it's just like, I don't know how you do it with your no genre format, but everything you play is great. It's just like, oh, that's another good one. It's good stuff. So I love what you're doing there.
Thanks.
Yeah. All right. Well, we are here to do what we always do, which is talk about vinyl and share vinyl. And I'm hoping you have something new to share with me and the audience at large.
I do. It's I call this record a masterpiece, and it's gone under the radar. A lot of people know the band, The Darkness. They had a big hit. I want to say like 2012, maybe. I'm not sure. Maybe even was earlier than that. Anyway, this is 2019. Easter is canceled, and it came out at the end of 2019, and they had a whole big tour, to support it and everything. And then, of course, COVID hit. The pandemic happened, and everything got canceled. So the fact that Easter is canceled is the title of the album. It's a prophetic lyric, and this is a masterpiece. These guys, by this time, this is their fifth album, I think, and they're brothers. Those are the two main writers, and they really have become amazing producers, and they're underrated musicians as well, I think. So this record is phenomenal. Easter is canceled.
There you go.
That's my pick for today. No special vinyl, but it is. I think actually it's a European release. Yeah, it's made in the EU. I had to bring it across. Yeah. It's not easy to get on vinyl, but it's highly recommended by Radio KAJW.
Well, thanks. I love The Darkness, but I'm unfamiliar with that project, so I'm going to give it a spin and see what it does to me. All right, I've got an old record that really made a big impression on me, and as I'm taking it in for the second time, I realized what it was, and that is Nearly Human by Todd Rundgren. And Todd Rundgren has been making great records for his own music, as well as a producer of a lot of other bands. This album was recorded mostly live in the studio, which is one of the reasons why I'm quite a fan of it. And he's got just that wonderful R&B, blue-eyed soul kind of thing. It's got a great intensity, a great live feel to it. Lots of background vocals done live. It's great. It's great. It's got Lyle Workman on guitar. It's got Larry Tagg on bass and Prairie Prince on drums on some tracks, and um, Michael Urbano on some others. Anyway, it's just wonderful.
I'm a, I'm a huge Todd Rundgren fan, and I don't know that album. So as soon as we're done with this episode, I'm going to purchase that album.
There you go. It's definitely a must-have. You know, The Want of a Nail is the opening song, which has just got this wonderful feel. It features Bobby Womack on second vocal, and then Can't Stop Running is the other really big hit from this album. And it's got Todd's touches all over it, and it's a must-have. Nothing fancy about this one. This was just a regular old pedestrian copy, just the way records were made in 19 whatever this was.
I always one of the things I always say about Todd, besides Todd is God, you know, it's become a cliche to say I don't throw the genius tag around, you know, a lot, because I try not to, but I would consider Todd Rundgren a musical genius.
Oh, there's no doubt. Yeah, I totally agree with you. I had a Todd Rundgren encounter at a trade show that was talking about how to make an impact in a live production with a low budget, right? And so he had a presentation, a lot of ideas on production values that are cheap but enhance a live show. After the seminar, he came down and hobnobbed with the crowd, and I was part of a small group that was standing around him, and I had a shirt on which was the brand name of one of the audio companies that I was working with, and he looked at me. He looked at my shirt, and he looked back at my face, and he says, "Dude, you're branded." And I looked down, and I said, "Oh yeah, you're right." And maybe that was the time that I realized that I had to start my own personal brand, that wearing somebody else's, although here we are wearing somebody else's brand's t-shirt, but proud of Third Man Records. And so anyway, there you go. Todd, great guy. Maybe think about branding.
I'm repping Permanent Records in Los Angeles, a great record store in the heart of Los Angeles. Got a lot of good wax out of Permanent Records.
Super. Okay. Let's see. There was actually one other thing I wanted to share with you, Adam, and that is my affection for another Soundscapes Media Group project. This one is the Greg Spiro acoustic record. This is jazz in the classic 3-man configuration: piano, drums, bass. Always pressed on 180-gram vinyl, and this record represents to the composer Greg Spiro a personal journey. You know, it takes him through his own a time of it started out with a little bit of searching and ended up with discovery, and I think you sense that in the music. There's really great flow, and then it ends up in a quite a lovely sort of a opening to new horizons and new beginnings, and so on. So it's a great record. Pick it up at soundscapesmediagroup.com. We'll have those links in the credits. You know, there was another record I wanted to share with you tonight, and we're gonna cut this part out. I'm gonna be right back. Okay, we're coming back to it. We're coming back live.
Coming back strong.
Okay. All right. I wanted to share with you the new Leonard Cohen tribute record.
Nice. Is that all recordings? Are those all new recordings?
all new recordings. This
Wow.
this album has a great story. So it's called "Here It Is," a tribute to Leonard Cohen. It's featuring Nora Jones, Peter Gabriel, Gregory Porter, Sarah McLachlan, Emmanuel Wilkins, Luciana Souza, James Taylor, Iggy Pop, Mavis Staples, David Gray, Nathaniel Ratcliffe, and Bill Frisell.
Wow.
Produced by Larry Klein. Those who don't know Larry Klein, Larry's a fabulous bass player, studio and live. Was married to Joni Mitchell for a while. Played with Joni in a number of her.
There's a lot of cool records for her.
And he's produced a lot of cool records for others as well. And so the concept here was, give a Leonard Cohen song to each one of these musicians and have them do their interpretation.
I got to get that.
Yeah, this is a must-have for anybody's vinyl collection. It looks to me like Larry put together the core musicians and the basic arrangements, and then the guest vocalists sang on top of it. But I don't know the entire backstory. But it is just a fabulous collection of music, and it's the same stuff. It's all quality, 180-gram vinyl. This is mastered by Bernie Grundman, who's really the master at mastering.
Cool.
Another genius. So there you go. So that's a little surprise record. Here it is, tribute to Leonard Cohen. It's on Blue Note, and I want to thank Larry Klein for creating such a great tribute to such a wonderful songwriter and using such a wonderful group of musicians. It's just it's really a superior record in every way, and I think it's up for a Grammy. In fact, we should probably talk about the Grammy nominations just for a second.
You mean my least favorite show on television?
Well, it's of course we're going to cut that out, aren't we?
I hope not.
We love the Grammys because we see the show is bad, but we secretly want to win one. Right?
Okay, well, that's fine, dude.
Let's see if let me just do a quick. We might cut this out, Kyle. Nope.
Eventually, I'm going to get in one of these episodes that I hate the Grammys.
All right.
Maybe after you don't win one.
Yeah. All right. Well, it doesn't look like it's up for a Grammy this year, so Kyle, you're going to have to cut that bit out. And
Okay.
The Grammys as an institution, it's great that they're there. The Grammys as an entertainment show that happens once a year, yeah, maybe not so much.
Don't Don't
award shows. What are you going to do?
Don't get me started.
Yeah. Okay. So that pretty much concludes this episode of Vinyl Authority.
No, it doesn't. You're forgetting your favorite part of the show.
Oh.
We talk about a record that we both love.
Oh my gosh. How did I forget that?
I have an amazing pressing of one of. I bet you this is one of your favorite records too. It is mine. This is my favorite. The Police was a huge part of my life as a musician, and extremely influential on everything that I ever wrote or produced.
Yes.
And this record is my favorite Police record. And this is the Abbey Road Half Speed edition. I ended up getting the greatest hits on Abbey Road Half Speed, and I was so blown away by the quality that I tracked one of these down. These are not easy to find. They're out of print. The first run of it's out of print, so I had to import one from Spain, actually.
Oh.
And it's freaking phenomenal. Pressing is unbelievable. Same with I guess I've heard some negative things about some of the Abbey Road masters, but all the ones that I have, I've got this, I've got Tommy, and I've got Face Dances, which is one of my favorite Who records, and then the Police Greatest Hits. So all the ones that I have, I think they're phenomenal. So
yeah, well, you were absolutely right. I beg your pardon. I talked over you.
That's all right.
You're right. That record totally influenced me. and my listening, and also my sense of what could be done in record production. A lot of really great atmospheric sounds on that record. A lot of noise made by three guys and an occasional synthesizer.
Yeah, Hugh Padgham's a big part of the record as well.
Totally, yeah. Hugh Padgham, big time producer. A lot of mystique and mystery around that record as well. One of the things that that impressed me about that record, which came out, was the sonic depth that they were achieving, and was something completely different than they had done on their previous records, which were a lot more just lively.
I always loved the sleeve. It was great.
Yeah. Yeah, I love the concept. At the time this record came out, I was working on recording studio equipment, and it was just such an electroacoustic connection to the music. We should segue into the tech corner and talk a little bit about half-speed mastering and what it is and why it's a rarity, but why it's done. So as you know, but maybe some of the folks at home, a certificate.
Yeah, half speed mastering certificate from Abbey Road.
Yeah.
Shall I read it?
If it tells about the half-speed mastering process and it fits into the tech corner, yeah, absolutely. Enlighten us.
Abbey Road's world-renowned engineers have been cutting grooves into discs since the studio first opened their doors in 1931. This record was pressed from a master cut using a precision technique known as half-speed mastering. The procedure requires the source master and the cutting lathe to run at half speed on a specially adapted Neumann VMS 80 lathe. This rare and specialized technique transforms difficult to cut high-end frequencies into relatively easy to cut mid-range frequencies. The result is a cut with excellent high frequency response and very solid and stable stereo images. In short, half-speed mastering produces a master of the highest quality that enables the pressing plant to produce a superlative record.
Yep.
Can't say it any better than that, right?
All true. Yeah. So a little just to add to that. So the cutting process of a vinyl master, which is a lacquer master. So a lacquer master is an aluminum disc with a lacquer coating on it, and normally it runs at 33 1/3 RPM, or if you're doing a 45 RPM, the turntable moves at exactly that speed. So the transfers are happening from the master tape to the lacquer master in real time. So half-speed mastering is going to slow that 33 1/3 to whatever half of 33 is, 16 blah. And I'm sure it'll flash up on the screen when our editor has time to correct me. They're also playing the tape at half speed. So if it was a 30-inch IPS master, they're playing it at 15 IPS. And so all of those things have to be specially EQ'd to match for the fact that everything is half speed. But indeed, what happens is you have a lot more time to cut the groove carefully, and so you can maximize the not just the high frequencies, but also you can maximize the level. You can also maximize the groove spacing, because the lacquer has a little bit of an elasticity to it, so there's a tendency for it to kind of bump up and then sort of come back into the groove. So if you're cutting it slower, the lacquer's memory is less activated on a molecular level.
Well done, sir.
So there you go. So it's pretty techy, but it absolutely does make for a much better lacquer. It takes twice as long to cut, as you can imagine. So 20-minute side is going to take a 40-minute session to cut. And a lot of things have to be rethought because of EQ choices and other things, processing in order to really optimize it for this special format. So yeah, we'll put a link in the notes to more detail about half-speed mastering, and maybe one day we'll cover direct metal mastering, which is another high fidelity technique that's out there. Okay, thank you for remembering that record, and that indeed was an absolutely influential record for me at the time it came out. And
Another masterpiece on my masterpiece list.
for sure, for sure. Well, I think one of these days we're either going to have to come up with our own, top 100 vinyl records, or
That'd be so much fun to do. I'd love
yeah,
that.
yeah. We can do that. Okay, so then with that said, we should conclude this episode by saying I'm Paul from Soundscapes Media Group, AJ from Radio KAJW. This is has been Vinyl Authority, and like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram and YouTube, and send your comments. We'd love to hear from you. And we'd like to review a record that you think is fantastic and why. So we're seeking guests as well. So we'd love to have some guests on the program of other vinyl enthusiasts. So all that's open. Right. AJ, have a good evening.
Thanks, man. Good to see you as always.
And absolutely. Have a lovely.
Yep.
Bye-bye.